Welcome everybody. This is the last of our reports for March and it just starts taking us into April, where of course there's all sorts of seasonal changes. Now the key thing is to know what's going on so you can make the best of the time that you're out there. Still some fantastic fishing to be had, because often on our autumn days you get very settled weather and great fishing to be had. First of all, let's talk about the salmon. Well, the rivers are in flood. Yes, we're talking serious flood. I mean, it really was quite a big rain that fell down on the west coast, and that comes over into the headwaters of our Canterbury rivers, and they're all looking pretty darn brown. So get out your plough for a while, and eventually when it settles down, you'll find that the remaining salmon that are really at the mouth have probably moved all their way up into the rivers. So make sure you get up there and have a bit of a last minute fling. It always amazes me how many people sort of burn themselves out way too early, when a lot of the good fishing for salmon is really right at the very end of the season. So keep an eye out, get yourself into the likes of the Rakaia and the Waimak in particular, and you'll find there's a lot of fish going through there. Of course, some rivers like the Rangitata and the Waitaki, they finish right at the end of the March period, so don't get caught there, otherwise you're going to end up losing your gear. We don't want that to happen, though I can tell you we can get a whole pile more if you need to. Anyway, the upper South Island rivers have been doing reasonably well with salmon. It's surprising, I'm hearing a few people from around the Blenheim and Nelson area telling me stories of salmon being caught there. And of course I can talk about the west coast fishery right at the moment, because it's pretty much wiped out because of the severe rain that's come through that area, and you can't get yourself into southwestern terribly easy at the moment because we've got no bridge to get across. So there you go. I hope you won't feel too estranged from me, or you coasters who think that I give away all the best spots. I'd never do that. You should know that I'd never do that. Anyway, let's talk about the canals. The same rain that brought all that flooding to the west coast brought over ½ a metre of rain in one day to Mount Cook. So that water's all come screaming down into Lake Pukaki. The water's come screaming down into O'Hare. It's come screaming down into Tekapo as well. So all those lakes are really nice and full. What does that mean? Well, it means great news. Not just good news, great news, because when there's lots of water there, the chances are that our electrical suppliers will let lots of it go down the canals. When lots of it's going down the canals in order to generate some more in the way of electricity, it's going to mean better fishing for us. Now remember, once we get to April, the whole fishery changes. The water temperatures come down, the fish are in great condition, and they start thinking about going up and doing a little bit of spawning. So you'll find there'll be a lot more salmon moving around, and just watch out for the salmon that start to go off a bit. We call them Malcs. Some people call them brown trout, but that's only because they're uneducated. But the Manx salmon, well, I tend to let them go. Even the cats around the place tend to turn their nose up to them. So just the quality of the fish goes off. Remember that there's only female salmon in the canals, and because of that, they don't spawn. They just are basically a put and take fish when it comes down to it. So any escapees in there, once they're done their best, well, hey, great for a bit of a fight, but I just tend to let them go so that someone else can have a bit of a go at catching them if I do catch them at this time of year. The rainbows are starting to get into peak condition, so watch out for those, and I'm sure that the egg fishing will start to pick up as the water current picks up, and also because a lot more of those fish will be looking to get towards the headwaters to do a little bit of spawning right from this time on. As far as the backcountry is concerned, well, we're going to have to wait for the rivers to settle down if you're a river fisherman, but I can assure you that the lake fishing gets really good in April, and the reason is very simple. The fish get quite concerned to go up and do some spawning, so they hang around the river mouths a lot more. So if you're prepared to put a bit of time in around the Coleridge infalls, and also the likes of Lake Sumner, if you can get yourself up there. Remember, Lake Sumner never closes, and some of the fishing in there is very, very good. Get yourself out there, fish around those river mouths. You can do it day or night. In fact, night fishing can be really productive in Lake Coleridge, and I know that I would like to put in at least a session or two to see if I can get myself some of those really good quality rainbow trout that hang around the river mouths. In terms of what's happening in the Salty, well, kingies are starting to move away. The water temperature is still okay. It's surprising how much that water temperature makes a difference as to whether or not the kingies are going to be there. So there's still a few there. I would expect them to start to tail off as the water temperature drops. Once you get below about 17 degrees, then you're basically over red rover. Though they will hang around, some of the bigger fish will hang around until it gets as low as 16.5 or 16 degrees. But of course you can find that information out by looking at the sea surface temperature charts, and that'll give you a bit of insight as to whether or not you should go out there. Other than that, great time to go out and do a little bit of cod fishing or groper fishing. I personally am off this coming week down to Oamaru to see if I can catch a few of those blue cod. Of course, they're not the greatest of fighting species, but they are delicious, I can assure you that. So get yourself out there if you can. Look, any day fishing has got to be better than a day working, so make sure you can get out there and enjoy yourself. Remember, we haven't got that much of autumn left, and you want to make the best of the time that's out there. Come and see us at 484 Cranford Street. Failing that, give us a call or go online to www.completeangler.co.nz. We'll see you there.